Good morning. It is Friday, November 21st. I'm Elizabeth Hasselbeck. We begin with the Fox News alert. The president's power play.
There are actions I have the legal authority to take as president. The same kinds of actions taken by Democratic and Republican presidents before me.
Millions of illegals allowed to stay in the United States. What it means for the new Congress and you, the American people.
Meanwhile, while you were sleeping, this happened in Ferguson, Missouri. We have the breaking details on some new trouble in the Show Me State.
And the company says it's all about gun safety, so why was this ad banned from Facebook? It's an ad for gun safety. But Walmart, which sells more guns than anyone else, can advertise all they want. Ooh, the irony. Mornings with Friends. Fantastic.
Hey, this is Larry the Cable Guy, and you're listening to my friends over at Fox and Friends.
Thanks, Larry. And today, Tucker Carlson's going to get her done.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen.
That's
Great
right.
to see you, Elizabeth. How are you?
Great to see you. Always great. And better that you're here right now on the Carpet Couch and all of you joining us this morning.
I got news for you. It's not always great when he's here.
No, it's bad. Normal.
Why are you breaking that to me now?
Well, because
Too
last
late.
time Tucker Carlson was here, it was about 10:30 in the morning, and I pick up my device and I see, hey, Steve, it's Tucker. I'm on a train. I'm wearing your coat.
I was.
I walked out with my suit coat.
I reached into the pocket. There were contact lenses, and I was thinking, I don't think I wear contacts. It said Doocy on the side.
I'm going to guard all of my things closely today.
Yeah, Tucker.
You're Tucker?
Remember that?
Yes, I do.
They're going to stay in my
Thank
coat.
you, Steve. I wore them for a day.
Not to learn about you, Tucker, today.
You can see clearly now.
Thanks for joining us this
Yep.
morning. We have a lot of fun here right now, but a lot of important things to bring you. Our Fox News alert is first. President Obama officially lays out his new executive order on immigration, allowing millions of illegals to stay right here in the United States. Doug Luzader is live in D.C. to break down the plan for you. Good morning, Doug.
Elizabeth, good morning. The president says that this is not amnesty, but at the very least, it's a major change in the way the nation enforces, or in many instances, no longer enforces its immigration laws. Here's the president from last night.
It does not grant citizenship or the right to stay here permanently or offer the same benefits that citizens receive. Only Congress can do that. All we're saying is we're not going to deport you.
So not citizenship, but this still affects millions, perhaps 5 million illegal immigrants, the lion's share of which have been in the country for 5 years or longer, living illegally, many of whom are the parents of either U.S. citizens or legal residents here. Now, the other aspect of this has to do with the legality of the president's orders. Is he overstepping the bounds of his office? Many Republicans think so. Here was the president's message about that.
I have one answer. Pass a bill.
This has been the least productive Congress in modern history. If they wanted to pass a immigration law, we could have done this. We could have done this. It's been sitting. We never had an up and down vote.
Now, it's not clear what the Republican response to this is going to be, whether there will be, in fact, lawsuits brought against the president because of these executive actions. The president, meantime, heading to Las Vegas today to speak at a high school there to go further about his plans for the nation's immigration policies. And back to you guys.
All right, Doug Luzader in North Lawn of the White House. Doug said, the president said last night, it's not amnesty. According to the New York Post, it's not amnesty, it's bamnesty. Bring me your tired, your poor, heck, anybody.
Yeah.
What's interesting is last night when the president started his talk about how he was going to bypass Congress or blackmail him into doing something, he said, you know what? The border has never been so secure. And in fact, the number of people we've been sending back is the highest it's been since 1970. Remember this?
We have more agents and technology deployed to secure our southern border than at any time in our history. And over the past 6 years, illegal border crossings have been cut by more than half. Although this summer there was a brief spike in unaccompanied children being apprehended at our border, the number of such children is now actually lower than it's been in nearly 2 years. Overall, the number of people trying to cross our border illegally is at its lowest level since the 1970s. Those are the facts.
Well, the facts are as they choose them, and in fact, the administration has changed the way they gather the facts.
They have, in terms of the expedition. They actually expedited the process. So you have to go see a judge before.
Yeah.
That would actually count as a formal deportation, but it's now much more quick. It's happening right there at the border, and that's why those numbers are exponentially increased.
Right.
Charles Krauthammer actually broke down the distortion.
The deportation numbers are completely distorted because up until Obama, the deportations that were counted were those from within the country. They changed the recording system, and anybody who today comes across and is returned immediately, who in the past was not counted, is now counted among the deported, so the numbers are inflated. And we all know why there was a decline in the river of illegal immigration over the last several years. It was because of the recession.
And the jobs
and
weren't
we
available.
all know,
Right.
and we all know that as the economy recovers, we're going to have the crises that we had this summer over and over again.
This is a big deal. I mean, this is a vast number. To put it in some perspective, the president has just added to the U.S. workforce legally about the same number of people as jobs that have been created during his presidency. There's another way of saying every job created under Obama could go to an illegal alien. I mean, the numbers match up exactly. And by the way, since the 70s, you know what is the lowest since the 70s? The labor force participation rate. There are few Americans working, 63% as of today, even looking for a job.
Well, and now they have new competition coming their way with these work permits.
It totally shafts them. Exactly right.
Sure.
One of the other things that the president, keep in mind, he was trying to sell the American people, this is a sound idea because the border is secure and I'm sending all the criminals back. At one point, the president did say, we're going to play one more soundbite for you where the president says that the number of people who are being deported are way, way up. But keep in mind, once again, they're fudging the numbers because apparently now they're including some people in this particular number who had decided to go home for one way or another on their own. Nonetheless, it adds up to, according to this administration, 80%. Here's the soundbite.
Over the past 6 years, deportations of criminals are up 80%. And that's why we're going to keep focusing enforcement resources on actual threats to our security. Felons, not families. Criminals, not children. Gang members, not a mom who's working hard to provide for her kids. We'll prioritize, just like law enforcement does every day.
Yeah, that sounds good, but included in that 80% now are people who decided to go home without being ordered, not really deported for one reason or another. And he mentioned kids. You know, last night he said there's been a little spike in the number of kids this last year. A couple of years ago.
Just a minor spike, like 68,000?
Yeah, it was 12,000 a couple of years ago, then 24,000 this year. Close to 70,000.
But they don't want to. This is so silly. They don't want to deport anybody. I mean, the whole point of this is to pack the electorate. They're unhappy with the election results. He knows that every one of these people, most will become voters in the end. And that's exactly what this is. It's increasing the size of the Democratic base, period.
Right, and the president can put forward any of those numbers that he wishes, but some of the ones that are really striking the American people are those that have been killed by illegals, particularly driving under the influence here in the United States. Remember the ICE attorney that we spoke to just filed a discrimination lawsuit against, and it was told that actually that colleagues were told to go easy on illegals with DUI convictions. And we saw personally what that can actually do. We spoke to a father whose son was killed by an illegal immigrant just yesterday. Don Rosenberg on his thoughts and some numbers for you.
This is not a story about my son. This is a story about over 100,000 people that have been killed since the last amnesty and are getting killed at the rate of 5,000 a year. And ironically, most of them, about 60%, are being killed by people that are in the country illegally but have not committed any what the administration calls serious crimes. They're so concerned about separating families. What about our families? What about the millions of people whose families haven't just been separated permanently but have been destroyed?
So last night the president threw down the gauntlet. He said, because Congress isn't going to do anything, I'm going to do it.
Because that's in the Constitution. If the Congress doesn't take up the president's program and endorse it, he has a right to make his own laws. That's
Out of frustration. The frustration.
Totally. I think it's
Frustration
Article 3, I think.
Right.
Yeah, frustration of 9,000.
Yeah, I'm frustrated.
He's just making it up as he goes. Anyway, we would like you to sound off and let us know what you thought about the president's plan. Is it a good idea? Is it going to cause continued gridlock? Or is this a real opportunity for the Republican Party to take the bull by the horns? Because let's face it, illegal immigration is a terrible problem in this country.
Sure is.
Should the Republicans come up with their own plan? I mean, a real border security plan or a guest worker program that does not lead to automatic citizenship. Let us know. Friends at FoxNews.com. You could also Facebook us or you could tweet us if you want to.
And we will share all those. Right now, we want to share